Rule number one with playing video games to learn Japanese, it should be fun. 楽しくなかったらあかんで. Look, life can be very demotivating right now. It's hard to stay motivated when you're learning a language. It's hard to find other like-minded people who are doing what you're doing. That's what this stream is for. I want to help you become fluent in Japanese. Rule number one, it should be fun. Look at this guy, all right? Look at this fellow right here. Does he look like he's having fun? Absolutely not. Why? Because he's playing a game that he has zero interest in, right? This doesn't just apply to games, but this applies to any kind of Japanese source that you are learning from. I remember people all the time back when I was starting to learn, and I was like, hey, what should I learn from? You should study the news. Oh, you should listen to radio. Like, oh, I had a friend who became a translator from watching the news. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Maybe I should watch the news. I try to watch the news. It's so boring. I hate it. I'm like, useless. But this is advice from my former senpai. He's an Australian guy who became fluent in Japanese for me. And he taught me a lot of what he knew. And this was his best advice for me. He said, it needs to be fun. Tsumaranai na. Tsumaranai means boring, okay? So guys, if you're playing a board game, no pun intended. If you're a boring game, if you're playing a boring game, it's not gonna work, okay? Try to think of a game that you turned on and you're excited about, or you bought and you're excited about, and then immediately you just stop playing. For me, that game was Shower with Your Dad Simulator. You know, I was really excited about Shower with Your Dad Simulator. I thought it was going to be real fun. My friend bought it for me as a gift. And and so I want it to be clear, if you're playing the game, it's important that there's a distinction between I feel bored learning Japanese. That's actually something you need to fight through, okay? Of course, there are going to be days where you don't feel like doing it. That doesn't mean you shouldn't. You have to power through the boredom sometimes. Sometimes it's really fun. Sometimes it's okay, gotta study Japanese. Try to just get a little bit done. You know, think of it like a workout, you know? Try to lift a couple of weights. You know, you don't have to stay for an hour and work out. Does that make sense, everybody? Rule number two, it should be close to your level, okay? Don't like shoot for the moon. You're gonna end up in a dumpster. Let's say you're a beginner or even intermediate. I mean, even advanced, like this is Final Fantasy 14, okay? Look at this Japanese, all right? I struggled. I couldn't even read the first, this kanji right here. And I was like, what? And it so it was a struggle for me to get through. I was like, watashi wa motomoto anata dake o, and I didn't know this, but yobu, I think, yobu tsumori datta no daga, sekai o matagu, shoukan jutsu wa totemo muzukashiku, anata to chikashii karera o maneite shimatta. Like, way over anybody's level, okay? This is like if really you're pretty much done studying Japanese and you just want to learn new words and you want to have fun playing a Japanese video game, okay? Kore wa yabai. That's crazy, okay? Don't go crazy. And then we have this on the other hand. Here we have Pokemon. And so the earlier Pokemon Game Boy games, for example, just an example, right? And I think some modern games, you have the option now of like hiragana and no kanji and stuff like that. Sometimes it's an option. Kore wa yabaku nai. This isn't too crazy, okay? Takeshi Brock, shobu o shikakete kita. Asks for a fight or whatever it is. Look, at least you can read it, and if you learn like more basic Japanese, like Takashi did something. Oh, Takashi did something. Okay. Like that's much better than whatever is going on over here. So it's really important that you choose a video game or any kind of material that's at least close to your level. And if it's not close to your level, you need to be extremely interested in that topic. But to be honest, it should be close. I don't care if it's a little bit higher. Like you can go definitely above your level. I mean, like anything's going to be above your level at the beginning, right? But it's important that it's accessible, right? Like that it's not going to kill you. You're not going to go crazy. Rule number 3. This is the hardest one. You have to give up. If you are not mid-intermediate to high intermediate or above, you should never try to understand all of the content. As you can see, Jackie Chan here is very frustrated. He says, why I gotta look up every word? Don't. Okay, seriously, don't. Why would you try to, like, for example, I always use sports a lot. Let's say American football, okay, or European handball, and you don't know you don't really know the rules, okay, but you're watching and you're like, oh, okay, ball in the goal, okay, it went through the hoop and they got points, okay. You should be trying to grasp some basic stuff, hold on to some basic stuff, like who, what, when, where, why. Maybe less on why, but if you can figure out what is doing something, good. If you can figure out where, like Nihon de nanchara nanchara, oh, something in Japan, something, you know, focus on smaller things, and definitely if you're playing a video game, smaller words. Okay. Rule number 4 is community. I think this is somewhat hard, but if you're here, then you already have found this. We have a Discord. Please join the Discord if you need a community for Japanese learning. Friends or a community that's also learning Japanese. Because guess what? It's not that easy. I didn't do it by myself. Why is community important? Because it helps you stay motivated. Imagine me as like both your friend and your teacher. I want to be your mentor, you know? I'm not trying to be a professor that yells at you, but I want to be there to encourage you and motivate you. And, you know, part of that...